And Maryland Eastern Shore 1-9 on the year with a 4-0 lead here early, and a foul called on Chiwuka as we join you. It's his second on Pittsburgh. And we congratulate Old Dominion, 6-point win at the Carrier Dome against number 25 Syracuse. So the former Virginia coach and player Jeff Jones's Monarchs get a nice win.
That's their Old Dominion's 6th win in a row. They are going to be a contender certainly in Conference USA.
A.J. Cheeseman is at the line. First of 2 is good. 5-0 in favor of the Hawks. And here in Pittsburgh, of course, another former ACC player is on the bench, and that's Jeff Capel at 43 years of age. Native of Fayetteville, of course, played at Duke. Head coaching tenures at VCU and Oklahoma, and now in year 1 here in Pittsburgh. Second free throw no good, and the second chance by Andino.
And that's what Andino does, is he shoots threes. And that's the first real opportunity he's had off the offensive rebound. McGowan's has been doing a great job defending him. Panthers starting very slowly on the offensive end.
Johnson a 3.
That's where the ball needs to go. Keep in mind that the Panthers are coming off an extended break for exams. In the first game after exams, it always takes you a little while to get going.
5-3 Maryland Eastern Shore.
Panthers in the man-to-man, and they're really trying to keep the ball out of the hands of Andino.
Jones cuts back door on the pass. Bartley had it blocked. Here comes Pittsburgh. Wilson frame, catch and shoot. And the rebound pulled away by Kanan Bartley. And an offensive foul on Cheeseman. A.J. Cheeseman, Dan, has had a hard time staying on the floor. He's fouled out of 2 of their last 3 ball games.
He's about the only size they have, Wes. He and Jones. Cheeseman also at 6'7", but other than that, they don't have any big guys.
Yep. Substitutions across the board. We get our first look at Terrell Brown, who's come on the deck for Pittsburgh here today. Here's Brown on the back end. Scoreless in 16 minutes last week at Morgantown. Terrell Brown quickly on the board. Tied at 5. Baseline. Cheeseman couldn't finish it. Caromed around, and Dino thought about a 3. He'll reload out of the corner. Nice box out by Pittsburgh.
Well, that's a great defensive job by Tony to disrupt the three-point shot not once but twice.
Wilson framed for the lead. Inside, the rebound and basket for Auguste Tony. And Clifton Reed, a timeout. Well, Pittsburgh a slow start, but the Panthers have moved it up the gearbox here in the last couple minutes to take a 2-point lead. Pittsburgh a 2-point lead on Maryland Eastern Shore. Just underway here at the Peterson Event Center, and our hardy star to watch, Dan, is the freshman from Northern Virginia.
Very impressive numbers at the start of his season through the first 10 games. He's the guy that scored the first basket of the game today. And you saw his other skills on display, too. He beat that Eastern Shore press and made a nice pass for an assist. So the strength, the quickness, the ability to handle the ball, he has certainly been a key for the Pitt Panthers and will continue to be a key throughout the season.
Dante Caldwell wearing number 20 on the floor for the Hawks for the first time out of a timeout. For Clifton Reed Jr., their interim head coach. 10 to shoot out front, and this is Frost, the redshirt junior from Cincinnati. Jones dribbled it off his foot, turned over to Brown.
Boy, he caught the ball and he was open, West, but he was not ready to make a play, and as a result, the Panthers were able to secure the ball.
McGowan's a 3. Pretty stroke for Trey McGowan's, his 8th 3 of the year.
He started slowly from beyond the arc, West, but he has been much better over the last couple games. That three-point shooting percentage going up.
10 in a row by Pittsburgh to double the number up on the Hawks of Maryland Eastern Shore. Bartley. Cheeseman a three, and that's good. A.J. Cheeseman's second three of the year.
I think if you're Jeff Capel, of course you don't want the other team to score, but you're okay with Cheeseman taking that shot. He's now 2 for 12 from beyond the three-point arc.
McGowan's trying to work off a Brown screen. Got caught in the air and draws the foul. And it will be on Dante Caldwell, who checked in a moment ago. His first, the third on Maryland Eastern Shore. In time for Dan Bonner's Ford Keys to the Game today.
It's very interesting. You just saw A.J. Cheeseman hit a wide-open three, and that's, I think, what Maryland Eastern Shore has to do. Somehow they have to create open opportunities, and then they have to convert them. They can't turn the ball over. And for the Panthers, I think it's all about energy. It's about how hard they work. They've got to keep the pressure on Maryland Eastern Shore.
4 in a row for McGowan's. As he knocks the first one down, Malik Ellison's going to report back, replacing Johnson. Audis Tony is out, and Cameron Davis waits at the table as well. Sidney Nadir. Nadir is come onto the floor as well for the first time. 5 from McGowan's. Its last 5 points belong to the freshman from Pendleton, South Carolina, which is down near Clemson, ironically.
Well, it's one of the things that you also will note about the Panthers is they get to the free throw line a lot.
Yeah.
Particularly Johnson and McGowan's, and they're excellent free throw shooters. And there's that pressure we were talking about. You don't necessarily need to get steals, but you just have to disrupt Eastern Shore, and Panthers did both that time.
Yep. Nadir. Grad transfer from New Mexico State. Played on a really good team out in Las Cruces a year ago.
That New Mexico State program, year in and year out, they produce good teams. They're in the NCAA tournament.
That ball is taken away. Cameron Davis. Well, Pittsburgh's kind of cranked it up a notch, especially on the defensive end of the floor.
The defensive end really has tightened up for the Panthers since that early run by Eastern Shore.
So good ball movement. The three out of the corner is good. And that's Davis. 4th three of the year for Cameron Davis.
Cameron Davis has always been a very high percentage three-point shooter, just a low volume three-point shooter.
Seven-point lead, and Maryland Eastern Shore misfire from Cheeseman. And here's Ellison in transition. All the way to the basket, got partially blocked, and Wilson Frame cleans it up.
Nice job by the Panthers hustling down the court. Usually when you get a guy ahead like that, you think he's going to make the layup, but Gerald Wilson Frame hustling down the court.
Lead is quickly grown to 9 after the 10-0 run to take the lead for the first time, and here's the three Caldwell missing. Nadir. Nice pass. Brown the catch and dunk. Could be a big game for Terrell Brown, Dan, just in terms of his ability to catch the ball off the screen and roll.
And ability to run the court. He's got a couple of dunks so far. And again, the Panthers, something that they won't experience very much this year, they have a size advantage against the Hawks of Maryland Eastern Shore.
So the lead is 11 as you see Pittsburgh gather around their first-year head coach, Jeff Capel.
Keep in mind, Maryland Eastern Shore was ahead 5-0. And this is just not very good defense right there. That down low, they don't rotate over to help. And Brown with his second dunk of the game. When you're a big guy like that, get yourself close to the basket, good things happen.
Our startup is brought to you by Honda Dealers of the Carolinas. And with Pittsburgh in this early 11-point lead at 19-8, here's kind of a check of what we're looking at with these two schools today. Andino, of course, the leading scorer. And Ryan Andino is number 9 in the MEAC in scoring. And you see that 68% of Pittsburgh's scoring comes from first-year guys. And Dan, we were talking to Jeff Capel before the game. It's the young guys and an interesting chemistry with the veteran guys who were left here from what was arguably a very difficult season last year for Pittsburgh in basketball.
A very difficult season, and you would expect the veterans to have some scars from that, and they have, but the freshmen have come in. They didn't experience that last year.
Yep.
These are guys who were very successful in high school, and they're used to success.
Cheeseman's shot bothered by Brown. Ellison. Wilson Frame. And now here's Sidney Nadir. Brown misfires from the baseline. Last touched by the Hawks.
And the Hawks, when they get opportunities like that, they had 4 guys who had a chance for the ball, and it just bounced off their hands and went out of bounds. Those are the kind of plays that they have to make.
And kicked by Caldwell. It will stay with Pittsburgh. Almost 8 minutes gone here in this first half. Maryland Eastern Shore led 5-0. Pittsburgh went on a 10-0 run. And since then, they've outscored them 9-3. And Deere with 1 to shoot and scores.
He's really good taking the ball to the basket.
And a foul called as well. That'll get us to a break. So in Deere, a chance for the and one when we come back to the Steel City. 7th different Panther to write his name in the scorebook is City and Deere.
"15 universities, 1,500 miles, and excellence everywhere you look.
All eyes on us. Let's all rise up. All eyes on us. Let's all rise up. Let's all rise up.
My mom works for Chevy. My dad works for Chevy.
We're all part of the Chevy family.
And right now, so are you.
Because our Chevy employee discount is now available to everyone.
Even you.
The Chevy price you pay is what we pay.
And not a cent more.
Welcome to the family.
The Chevy family.
Use your employee discount for everyone to get almost $11,200 below MSRP on this Tahoe when you finance with GM Financial. Get the Chevy employee discount for everyone today.
DC Hoops, and Pittsburgh, after falling behind early, has stormed to the lead thanks in part to their inside play.
Well, they've hit the afterburners, and one way that they've been able to score at the basket. You talk about points in the paint. These are not points for guys scoring with their back to the basket. They beat the pressure. An offensive rebound here in transition. Another offensive rebound. The Panthers are a team that has to score close to the goal to be successful. You can see during the 2-game losing streak, they have not been able to score close to the basket with the consistency that they were earlier in the year.
In Deere, 23 years of age, born in Senegal, grew up in France, has come off the bench and gotten 3 quick points on the and one, so the lead is 14, and it's a shutout from the bench of the Panthers, 12-0 so far against Maryland Eastern Shore, and Bartley turned it over, and here's Deere at the head of the break. Lob, and Ellison had it deflected. Brown tried to clean it up, and coming the other way with it is Jones and Maryland Eastern Shore. And Dino skips for Caldwell. Mid-range jumper, and Wilson framed the rebound. Wilson framed, had it blocked out of there by Jones.
Really impressed with the Panthers' defense so far, particularly with Andino, number 1 there.
Yep.
We talked about him before the game. He hasn't had any room at all.
Boy, Ellison has played really hard.
Yes, and you know that Eastern Shore is in trouble when Cheeseman has attempted more threes than Andino.
Completely out of character from what we've seen in the first 10 games for Coach Reed's club. Davis on the drive. Cameron Davis, 5 off the bench already for Coach Capel.
Andino scores 61% of the team's 3-point baskets, and the Panthers have just swallowed him up. Tony and Ellison in particular.
To your point, last 8 possessions for Maryland Eastern Shore, 0 of 5 from the floor and 3 turnovers. And the foul off the ball is Wilson Frame.
And I think, Wes, that you have to credit the Panthers' defense with an awful lot of that. They really have turned up the intensity. Cameron Davis, he hit that 3, and Davis is one of the guys who returned from last year, and I think he's still trying to find his way in this current Pitt atmosphere. But he has a chance to be a really good player. He's got all the physical skills.
Chabuka back on the floor to play the post. McGowan's Johnson. Ellison stays. And Audis Tony. Here's the drive. Cheeseman misses. And a run-out rebound for Oliver. Montrez Oliver is a redshirt sophomore from Princess Anne, Maryland.
Well, Audis Toney, number 5 in white, is just all over Ryan Andino. Andino just has no room whatsoever.
Long three. And the miss from Frost.
And anytime anybody else for Eastern Shore shoots a 3 other than Andino, that is a win for the Panthers. And there is that transition game again. The Panthers scoring at will close to the goal.
Chukwuka on the board. Maybe a step late in the first 5 minutes, Dan, but not much after that for Jeff Capel's team.
Look right there in the corner. Nothing going on. Andino just standing in the corner, and Toney is right on top of him. And the Panthers are basically forcing Maryland Eastern Shore to play 4-on-4, and the Panthers are having tremendous success. Nice play by Johnson, draws the defense. We talked about Johnson and his offense, and just because he can score, don't forget he can pass too. He's thinking score first, but he's an excellent passer.
Ellison the foul, his second, so he'll come out of the ball game. We got our first look at Shamil Stevenson, by the way. Sophomore from Toronto.
It's one of the few times that Andino has been able to handle the ball, and Toney is right in his face. Yep. And watch Toney. Toney not helping, not doing anything other. He's just staying with Andino.
And Oliver traveled against the pressure of McGowan. 6 turnovers on the Hawks.
Now, McGowan is a tremendous defender. He's great at drawing charges and plays on the ball very successfully as well. Another one of those Pitt freshmen that we talked about, Wes. These guys clearly give the impression that they are ACC caliber players, something that was lacking with the Panthers last year.
Gowans, little Euro into the lane, missed everything, tried to get his own rebound, and a foul will be called against Maryland Eastern Shore. Clifton Reed wanted to travel. Ted Valentine instead has whistled a foul on Cheeseman.
And McGowan's, we already said that he likes to drive the ball to the basket, and if he is going to capture your attention by making threes, and he's made a 3 today, then that means you got to play him a little bit more closely out on the perimeter, and that makes that drive much more dangerous.
Chukwuka turned it over out of the double team. Lead into the corner with Caldwell.
Now McGowan's is going to take the job of guarding Andino. Andino's just standing in the corner. He's got to move without the ball.
Ball away by Jones. Toney, McGowan, Johnson trails. Chukwuka bounced out. One and done in transition on the Panthers.
Chukwuka is a guy who, he makes threes in practice, but in games he has not had much success. Might want to put that one in his back pocket for a while.
Andino and one.
Wow.
On the board goes Ryan Andino, the redshirt senior from Fort Lauderdale. And he does it by drawing an and one on a 3.
Well, now you can understand why the Panthers are putting such close attention to Ryan Andino. If he can score with that kind of defense, wow. But a big lead for Pitt.
Hey, Dad, can we give Lisa a ride home?
Sure.
Thanks for the ride.
The new Porsche Cayenne. There's nothing like the feeling when you sports car together.
Open up your eyes, you're about to see a new thing. Open up your eyes, you're about to see a new thing. Everybody want a new thing. Pick it if you like it, everybody want a new thing.
Against non-conference opponents here at the Peterson Event Center. 95%. You see, Maryland Eastern Shore's lost 26 straight roadies, Dan. Ryan Andino will go to the line out of the timeout and the foul a moment ago on Johnson.
Wes, we have seen over the years that when the Panthers have it going, this is one of the toughest places in the country to play. This is an outstanding arena in a great, great sports town.
Andino misses for the first time this year at the line. So no 4-point play for Maryland Eastern Shore, who drops into a zone here. 15-point lead for Pittsburgh.
Drop into the zone because the Panthers have done such a great job driving through the lane.
Stevenson threw it behind Chukwuka. Turned it over against the zone, and that'll bring Terrell Brown and Jared Wilson-Frame out. Stevenson and Chukwuka, that battery comes off the floor. Jeff Capel has come off the suit coat here in the first half.
I think Jeff Capel, he wants his guys to play not only hard, but he wants them to play efficiently.
Yeah.
They've lost 3 of their last 4 games coming in, and during that span, they've had 76 turnovers. And so he wants to make sure that they don't turn the ball over, give him the impression that if you turn it over, that's a horn play. You turn it over, the horn sounds, you come out of the game. They've got 4 today.
Yep. 10 to shoot for Cheeseman. Oh, he sheds the screen, drives, can't finish.
And then he commits a foul.
Yep. And that'll be his 3rd if it's on Cheeseman.
Cheeseman does a really nice job getting the ball to the basket, but he missed because I think he was worried about getting a charge. Just got to take the ball to the goal.
6th foul against Maryland Eastern Shore. A.J. Cheeseman from Snellville, Georgia. Again, Dan, we talk about his foul troubles. Fouled out of 2 of the last 3, including Thursday night at Duquesne.
I think it's a little bit of frustration, Wes, that Cheeseman's going up against bigger guys every night. The team's not having a lot of success.
Yep.
Just has to be more disciplined than that, however.
Gabriel Jimfree has come in. He's playing at the top of the zone. 6'6" junior from Brampton, Ontario. And an offensive foul on the whistle of Tony Chiazza against Terrell Brown.
Brown trying to get position inside against Jones. Now the Panthers, they've shown a little bit of pressure, and they've had success with it.
Well, we talk about Chukwuka and Brown. Those are the 2 most likely candidates to provide stability inside for Jeff Capel as the season wears on here.
And neither one of them are power inside players, Wes. They're both more finesse kind of guys.
And Dino looking for the shot. Turned it over. Here is McGowens with Jimfree, who draws the foul. First on Gabriel Jimfree, number 7 on Maryland Eastern Shore with 6.5 to play.
And once again, the key there was Andino has the ball. He comes off the screen. They double team Andino. Andino just has no room to breathe. And he picks up his dribble, and Jimfree didn't really help him very much. You got to step toward the basketball. He allowed McGowens to get in there and make the steal. Really impressed with Trey McGowens.
Yep. 82% at the line, 7th best in the ACC. Pittsburgh, by the way, 73-1 as a squad coming in.
73-1, and they get there a lot. Coming into the game, they made 182 free throws, which is an average of 18 a game. Making 18 a game from the line, that helps you.
Yep. Second one also right through. 9 or 7 here in the first half for McGowens, who's had double figures in 4 straight games for Coach Capel.
And the other thing that you're seeing is Jeff Capel really rotating guys in, trying to make sure they maintain their intensity throughout. Now Cameron Davis is going to match up against Andino.
Ooh, that's no bargain either. As long as Davis is at 6'4". Fall away by Jones.
Just nothing doing for the Hawks.
Lead, Wilson Frame to Davis. Look away to Tony, who had it stripped. Leading the break is Frost.
Nice job by Pitt to get back on defense.
Hawks had numbers there.
Well, they did for a second, but the Panthers got back and stopped them.
Frost falling away.
Wes, we said that Eastern Shore had to get some open opportunities, and since the first couple of possessions of the game, they just haven't been there.
Johnson took it strong, lost it. Tony tried to save it, couldn't hang on, and it'll go right back to Maryland Eastern Shore.
And that's the kind of thing that has Jeff Capel a little bit frustrated. You just have to be strong with the basketball, get inside. If you can't get to the basket, get yourself stopped and find an open player. He just dribbled too deeply into the lane.
Well, they've cost themselves. They've got 6 assists, 7 turnovers so far, and that's a number he's focused on today as well. How well are they sharing the basketball, not just valuing it? And right now the answer is so-so, right? Way too many turnovers.
Never want to have more turnovers than assists.
Inside Jones, the left hand. Just the 4th field goal of the day for Maryland Eastern Shore. Rimmed out from Davis in the corner. The lead is 15.
Panthers continue to rotate guys against Andino, always keeping a fresh body.
There's Frost. Skip out for Jones. Missed on the 3. Wilson Frame, another rebound. There's Tony. Lost it on the dribble and out of bounds. That's the 8th turnover against Pittsburgh, who's on a 5-minute field goal drive.
And another turnover when somebody's trying to drive to the basket. There's nothing there. Stop and pass the ball. And Jeff Cape will just get up off the bench, and he told Tony, pass the ball.
Yeah. Sometimes it's the simple stuff, Dan, right?
Most of the time it's the simple stuff, Wes. You get the simple stuff right, everything else sort of falls into place.
4:22 to go in this first half. 15-point lead. Jones on the spin and the scoop. Tyler Jones has got 8 of Maryland Eastern Shore's 15. 7-2 run by the visiting Hawks.
Hawks back into that 3-2 zone.
Wilson Frame catch and shoot for 3. Snaps the scoring drought from the floor. Pittsburgh had 6 turnovers in their last 9 possessions, and it pushes the lead back to 16.
You can't leave Wilson Frame. He's the best 3-point shooter on the Panthers.
Baseline Frost, block Endear. And City Endear's gone down. McGowan's all the way to the rim. Tap follow, no good. Brown recovers, put it back up and draws the foul. That'll get us to a timeout here at the Peterson event center. Pittsburgh 31, Maryland Eastern Shore 15. Back with more ACC hoops after this.
The hottest technology gift of the season is on sale now during Hyundai Holidays.
Now get a new 2019 Hyundai Santa Fe with up to $2,000 cash back. Only during Hyundai Holidays.
Alexa, open the ESPN app.
He's got some space. What can he do with this? The shot's away.
Oh, yes! Alexa, volume down. Dude, we should go to the next game.
Yes. Alexa, how long's the flight to Rome, Italy?
From here, it takes 12 hours.
Maybe not.
Check this out. Alexa, find Roma's Pizzeria.
Oh, good call. This is gonna be just as good.
Alexa, resume ESPN.
I didn't mean like actual Italy. Little Italy's fine.
The Pitt Panthers have gotten some great play from freshmen today, as they have all year. Here's Xavier Johnson drills the 3. That was the first basket of the game for the Panthers. And Trey McGowan's has done a nice job driving the ball to the basket, but he's knocked down a 3 as well. We mentioned the Panthers relying heavily on their 3 freshmen, Johnson, McGowan's, and Tony. Look at those numbers, Wes. 37 points, over 13 rebounds, almost 6 assists.
12 points today.
And Tony's only got those 2 points, but Tony, I think, has been a key to this game with the outstanding work he's done defensively, particularly against Ryan Andino.
Terrell Brown, 63% at the line, knocks the first one down. He's got 5, comes in averaging 4.5. So a nice start to the day for Terrell Brown. And
Brown is a guy I think who's really going to have to produce for the Panthers. I'm not talking about scoring 15 points a game and getting 10 rebounds, but I think he's a very skilled player, and they're going to need some contributions from him. You mentioned he and Chukwuka, that they're the inside game, basically, and they're not back to the basket power kind of players. They're going to have to get their points in different ways.
Long throw, Bartley the catch. McGowan's almost had to play free safety there a little bit.
That was a great catch.
Yeah, it was.
How did he stay in bounds?
Over the shoulder and then cut to the pylon trying to get the score, didn't he?
He ran past the pylon, unfortunately.
Jones slips the screen and can't finish. Boy, the missed chances for Clifton Reed's team on open shots is starting to build up here a little bit. Under 3 to play and an 18-point lead for Pittsburgh.
But I think a lot of it is part of it anyhow is the defensive strategy. Who do you want taking those open shots?
Johnson lost it but gets it to Wilson's frame, who bangs the three.
This is another guy who I think is going to be important for the Panthers' success moving forward. Wilson Frame is a guy who can score. He can make three-point baskets. He's got to do other things to help the team, and his defensive effort here today has been very good, but I think they need offense from him.
Jones missed another chippy.
They're not going to get any easier than that. A guy that size just has to go dunk it.
Johnson at the front, off the back iron. Frost. Pull up, falls in off the back rim.
And that was not a good shot by Johnson down on the other end. That created that wide open opportunity in transition for Eastern Shore.
Almost taken away from Wilson Frame, deflected to Davis. Inside 2 minutes to go in this first half. Maryland Eastern Shore led 5-0, then a 10-0 run by Pittsburgh, and Panthers have not been headed since. McGowan's a three. Chukwuka tried to get a hand in there and commits the foul. That'll be Kane's second. 7 Pittsburgh with 1:40 to play. And free throws down here to our left, I believe, on the 1-and-1 variety. And a double dip of ACC hoops for you next Saturday. Mike Jaminski and I will be at PNC Arena for USC Upstate and the Wolfpack of Kevin Keats, who got a brand new deal yesterday. Dan Bonner, meanwhile, will be in Central New York for the Red Wolves of Arkansas State against Syracuse, who lost earlier today in game 1 of our 3 to Old Dominion. Here in Pittsburgh, the Panthers with a 19-point lead. Ross missed the front end of the 1-and-1. And out of the corner, Wilson Frame.
That was a good decision by Johnson that time. He didn't try to drive it into traffic. He drew the defense, kicked it to a wide-open shooter. The ball didn't go in the basket, but that's exactly the kind of play that Jeff Capel wants Johnson to make when he drives the ball to the basket.
Caldwell. Blocked by Davis. Off of Caldwell. It'll go to the Panthers.
That was a tremendous block by Cameron Davis. He kept his arms straight up in the air. Most of the time you're going to get a foul because the defender lowers his arms trying to swat the ball. But as it goes in here, Davis moves his feet, gets in great position, and just keeps his hands straight up in the air. Really nice play by Cameron Davis.
Under a minute to go now. We head down the stretch of this first half.
And the Hawks now showing some trapping pressure.
Back to Johnson with 18 to shoot. Indier. Wilson Frame thought about the long two. Instead opts for play. 8 for Terrell Brown. Lead is 21 with a half minute to go.
Great recognition. He had about an 8-inch height advantage on Bartley, who was matched up against him inside. Nothing Bartley can do. Really nice pass and a nice conversion.
Here is Bartley with 11 to shoot. Boy, Andino's been quiet, Dan. Just the 1-3.
Well, he's standing in the corner, and the Panthers are perfectly content to let him stand there.
Bartley. Jones with a 3. Back rim, and a second chance. Oliver at the horn. And that's the way they'll head to the locker room. Pittsburgh had runs of 10-0, 16-0, and 8-0 here in this first half. And the bench outscored Maryland Eastern Shore 24-0.
Really impressive performance by the Panthers.
Harity's halftime report coming up after this.
MVP favorite Drew Brees and the NFC South champs head to Carolina. Saints-Panthers, Monday at 8:15 on ESPN.
We watch everywhere, in different ways, in different places. Introducing Movies Anywhere. Sync.
I'm dreaming of a white
Add some color to your holiday season and get a great deal on a Jeep SUV, the best-selling SUV brand. Make the year merry and bright with a great deal at the Jeep Big Finish event.
Alexa, dim the lights.
Okay.
No. Dad, I need your help.
What have you done?
Burnt the duck.
That's a duck? What do you have in that cabinet?
Some spaghetti.
Okay, chop up some garlic. Your mom cooked duck for me once.
Did she burn it?
Of course she did.
Of course she did.
Now it's beautiful. There you go.
How do I look?
Perfect.
Thanks, Dad.
What's his name?
Dad. Alexa, hang up.
Welcome back to the Hardee's Halftime Report with Dan Potter, Wes Durham, and a quick check of some ACC headlines. You see some notes there in the first couple. And then at the bottom, rookie coaching energy. And we've seen Jeff Capel in this first half here today.
Well, of course, they're rookies in terms of being head coaches in the ACC, but they're not rookie coaches. Jeff Capel doing an outstanding job at Pitt. And Chris Mack has stepped into a difficult situation at Louisville. They're playing really well. Florida State, they're 10th in the country without Phil Kofer and Virginia Tech. Everybody thought they were going to be good, but I don't know that anybody thought they were going to be this good.
You see the ACC's already played 18 games against ranked teams, and of course that continues later tonight with Gonzaga visiting North Carolina. So that's a quick check of ACC headlines. Yesterday here in Pittsburgh, news came down to the passing of one of the all-time great Pitt Panthers, legendary offensive guard Bill Fraley, who succumbed to cancer at the age of 56. Went to Penn Hills High School, played here at the University of Pittsburgh, and then was a #1 draft pick of the Atlanta Falcons and went on to a tremendous professional career. A guy who had a heart bigger than you could imagine. Treated everybody like they were his friend. Bill Fraley was 56.
Saints Panthers, Monday at 8:15 on ESPN.
We watch everywhere. In different ways, in different places. Introducing Movies Anywhere. Sync multiple digital accounts so your movie collection is in one place.
We're going to form a super duper group.
One account, one password, one easy-to-use app.
Where's my phone?
When your hands are busy, you show everyone what you're capable of. The all-new Ram 1500, Motor Trend's 2019 Truck of the Year.
Emerge restored, replenished, fortified. Emerge every day with Emergen-C, packed with B vitamins, electrolytes, antioxidants, plus more vitamin C than 10 oranges. Why not feel this good every day? Emerge and see.
E-College Hoops is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina. Be bold, be confident, live fearless, North Carolina, and your local Ford dealer.
Well, you see Pittsburgh 38, Maryland Eastern Shore 17 as the Hardee's Halftime Report continues here from the Peterson Event Center. Don't forget Game 3 of our ACC Hoops triple header. It'll be off to the KFC Yum Center where Evan Lepler and Brian Oliver are standing by as Louisville and first-year head coach Chris Mack will meet Kent State. We may venture off to Permane Brothers to watch the Cards and the Golden Flash. Second half coming up next.
It's just a cough.
Yeah, right. And I was born yesterday.
I'm a baby.
What?
Treat your cough seriously with Robitussin DM Max. It soothes in seconds and delivers fast, powerful cough relief for hours. Robitussin, because it's never just a cough.
This holiday, you deserve the gift of presence. The iconic Cadillac Escalade. Current non-GM owners and lessees get this low-mileage lease on this 2019 Cadillac Escalade from around $899 per month.
College Hoops is brought to you by Hardee's All-Star Meal, starting at $5. Husqvarna. All-Star Lawns start with Auto Mower. For a perfect lawn 24/7. Husqvarna. Ready when you are. And Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota. Let's go places.
Welcome back to the Hardee's Halftime Report. Pittsburgh a 21-point lead on Maryland Eastern Shore. It's a busy Saturday of ACC basketball. One up already in the books, and that was Old Dominion beating Syracuse. Dan, NC State the lead on Penn State at the break, and Notre Dame leading Purdue second half action today.
Those are some tough games. Penn State's really good. Radford, of course, has beaten Texas. And that Notre Dame-Purdue game, always a really exciting clash.
CNC, Kent State, Louisville, game 3 of our tripleheader coming up. Gonzaga, Carolina later tonight, along with Washington and Virginia Tech. Thanks for watching the Hardee's Halftime Report. Second half next.
You don't want to cancel your plans. Cancel your cold. The one pill power of new Advil Multi-Symptom Cold and Flu knocks out your worst symptoms. Cancel your cold, not your plans. New Advil Multi-Symptom Cold and Flu.
Hey, Benny. There's one more gift for you.
Hey!
Grandpa!
You happen to see my favorite hat? Benny.
Portal, starting at $149 for a limited time.
Ready to start the second half here at the Peterson Event Center. Always great to be on a ride on an ACC Hoop Saturday with Dan Bonner. Okay, Panthers, I thought, defended very well in the opening 20 minutes.
They sure did, and not only did they defend well, but they did a great job getting the ball inside. We talked before the game about how the Panthers score a lot of points close to the basket, and they did it in a variety of ways. Offensive rebounds, there Gerald Wilson-Frame gets one of his 9 rebounds in the game. Drives to the basket, nice passes inside. Wilson-Frame, you see right there, he had 8 points in the first half, 9 rebounds and 3 assists, and the Panthers dominating every facet of the stats. Now, interestingly enough, Wes, they didn't shoot the ball really well. 43% is okay, but they defended. They did a great job on the defensive end.
The other part is they're coming off shooting 31.5% at West Virginia last week, Dan. So anything would be an improvement over what they probably went through in Morgantown. But defensively, I thought they kept a pretty strong mindset. And there's a whistle and fouls out on McGowan's. Early whistle from Ted Valentine. And Trey McGowan's gets his first. And it's number 1 on the Panthers. It's interesting. We talked about chemistry and combinations and all those things. Don't think of it as just personnel when you talk to Jeff Capel. Think of it as like fundamentals, attitude, energy. All those things have to come together with this group, too.
Well, I think they've made really good progress, Wes. One of the things about their defensive game today is they have forced the players who are not really great offensive players to take most of the shots. Nice pass.
Lob for Tony, and it got deflected up and out. And
well, it looked better than it actually was because he did not put enough air under that ball. He hit the rim with it. So a little bit sloppy. That's now 9 turnovers in the game for the Panthers. And when we talked to Jeff Capel before the game, that was one of his major concerns. There they get a steal. He likes that.
Johnson a 3.
Likes that even more.
Yep. 6 for Xavier Johnson, the freshman from Bishop O'Connell High School in Woodbridge.
Panthers have done a great job pressuring the ball.
On the drive, Frost threw it over the glass. It will belong to Pittsburgh. And here comes Gabriel Gyamfi onto the floor. You see Frost go out, as Dante Caldwell also reports back. So early substitutions here for Coach Reed. McGowan. Zone again by Maryland Eastern Shore. Oh, no, man down. Sorry.
They've had a tough time defending dribble penetration.
Whoa, look out. Look out.
Of course, anybody would have a tough time defending that. Wow.
How about that?
That's some explosiveness there. And how about that finish at the basket?
Shows you the portion of the catalog of breakdown, doesn't he? My gosh. There's a foul, and it will be on Chukwuka.
This is just a great crossover dribble. Goes from his left hand back to his right hand and leaves Caldwell standing out at the free throw line.
You know, it's interesting you use the word explosive. That's what I was told coming into the ball game. Listening to someone who had seen Xavier Johnson play, said you won't believe the explosiveness. been on display today. McGowan's tried to bang a three. Tony the rebound inside, and he scored. And Au'Diese Toney is going to have a place in this league too, Dan, it looks like.
He's shown he's a very good defender. He rebounds the ball pretty well.
Yep.
In fact, he comes in as the Panthers' leading rebounder.
28-point lead. Pittsburgh storming out here in early second half. Chabuka forces the turnover. Johnson ahead for Wilson Frame. Leave it in the corner and a three ball from there. Offline for Toney. Partly the other way.
Nothing wrong with that shot if you're the Panthers. It didn't go in, but I think if you can get that shot, you have to take it.
Toney is a 22% free throw shooter coming in. And a holding foul called on Wilson Frame. Like he tried to make the strip. Jared draws his second three on Pittsburgh.
We've got all kinds of things going on. Physical play right there.
There's a foul called on Gyamfi for the illegal screen, right? First on Maryland Eastern Shore in the second half.
So we've got a stoppage of play here. I think the scorer's table, they're a little confused about who the last foul was in.
First one was on Wilson Frame, the second one on Gyamfi, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Tony Chiazzo over there just straightening them out very quickly.
A little bookkeeping by this crew.
Of course, the officials this year are emphasizing those illegal screens, and you can understand Maryland Eastern Shore trying to do something to get Ryan Andino open.
Toney spinning in traffic, left hand, and scores.
And at this point, Wes, that's much more his game. Toney can make threes, but it's sort of hit and miss for him. He's made 5 threes this year. All 5 of those threes came in 3 games. In the other games, he's now 0 for 17.
Hawks take a timeout. The lead is its largest of 30. Early second half in Pittsburgh.
The biggest.
Wow, what a nice place. All right, Grandma, what are you doing here?
Eat, eat.
Okay. I'll see you on Sunday.
Bye-bye.
Make it where you want.
It's by 30. You said during earlier action here a moment ago, the officials' point of emphasis this year is like screens. There's this point of emphasis too, Dan.
Well, this is the new power rating, the NCAA evaluation tool that replaces the RPI. And part of the problem you have, as soon as you get to the word algorithm, I get lost. But this is an algorithm that includes these elements: net efficiency, winning percentage, and any more in this day of metrics, you have to have adjusted something. So you have the adjusted winning percentage, scoring margin, capped at 10 points, and then you have the amorphous team value index. But nobody knows exactly how these pieces all fit together. It's like having the ingredients for cake, and you know what's supposed to go in, but nobody tells you what portion. So good luck figuring that out. But it is the power rating, and the idea, just like the RPI, is to evaluate the strength of team schedule to try to determine how teams stack up against one another objectively rather than just use wins. The other thing, amorphous, yes.
Okay.
And another thing that it does, if you emphasize power ratings, it forces the top teams in the country to play good schedules and to play one another.
McGowan's on the drive. Offensive foul whistled against the freshman. His second. 4 on Pitt.
McGowan's is a guy who's normally drawing charges, but here, once again, driving the ball to the basket. And what we have seen today, Wes, is a lot of times the Panthers are forcing that a little bit. When the defense comes over, you've got to get stopped and find the open man.
Backcourt pressure applied by Pittsburgh. Here's Bartley on a 3-on-2, and Dino another catch and shoot. Bangs it home. Ryan Andino has 6.
You can understand why the Panthers have paid so much attention to him. He needs very little room and no time at all.
Well, he's airballed one from out here at the tee and hit.
Well, with somebody standing right in his face.
Xavier Johnson. Here's McGowan, lost it on the dribble, tried to chase it down. Bartley the turnover, and Caleb Bartley will punch it.
And just a little bit of sloppiness here on the part of the Panthers. It's hard to be critical of your guys when they have a 25-point lead, but when you're trying to build a program and you're trying to get everybody better, you can be a little picky.
So Buka turned it over, and Dino out of there with it. Had 3 Hawks around Pitt. Somebody had to be open, and it was a little scattered after the pass. Cheeseman will be called for a travel. That'll send us to a timeout. Timeout. Dana Bartley gets the dunk in transition off the Pitt turnover. Back in a moment.
This building season has been Jimmy's longest. He's survived record rain and a supplier that went belly up. So while he's proud to have helped put a roof over the heads of hundreds of families, he's most proud of the one he's kept over his own.
Get the most out of your money, whether you're using QuickBooks Smart Invoicing to get paid twice as fast or automatically tracking your mileage. Smarter business tools for the world's hardest workers. QuickBooks, backing you.
The United States Postal Service makes more holiday deliveries to homes than anyone else in the country, with one notable exception.
2, Pittsburgh the lead on Clifton Reed, Maryland, Eastern Shore, and Ryan Andino, one of these half-gun will travel guys, huh?
Well, and the Panthers paying a lot of attention to him. There's Wilson Frame, that's 2 guys guarding him. Now McGowan's is guarding him, just so everybody's had a chance. And when you don't guard him, this is what happens. He catches it, lets him go in transition. Panthers have, in the first half in particular, they prevented him from getting transition opportunities. And that is Brian Arudia, who is the point guard, the guy who's back to Andino is just passing him now. And one other thing we should add about Maryland Eastern Shore, not only is Arudia the starting point guard on the bench, but they have 2 other guys who they figure are starters who haven't played for them.
Isaac Taylor, their starting center's out with an elbow injury. They hope to get him back for league play. Colin Gaynor, a 6'5" redshirt sophomore, they hope to have back against Pat Kelsey and Winthrop, which is Thursday night.
So not only Eastern Shore played a really tough schedule at Georgetown, at NC State, at North Texas, at Mercer, at St. John's, at East Carolina, at Duquesne, and now at Pitt. There's Wilson Frame hits the basket. Another 3. That's 3 for him today.
Second career double-double, by the way, for Jared Wilson Frame on that triple.
But so Maryland Eastern Shore has played that kind of a schedule, and they've done it at less than full strength.
Cheeseman inside, adjusted and scored. Second field goal for A.J. Cheeseman. Five minutes gone here, second half.
Panthers have struggled a little bit in the second half with this Maryland Eastern Shore pressure.
Endear, Brown calling for it. Double team coming. 6 to shoot. Here's Johnson, lining one up from deep. Off the mark, rebounded by Oliver. Lead ahead for Andino, and look at Johnson find him quickly.
Well, Andino's not interested in driving it to the basket. Nope. He wants to shoot a 3. Over 80% of his shots are from beyond the 3-point line.
Knocked away and deflected to Cheeseman. Remember now, Cheeseman playing with 3 as he goes to work on Brown. And whistle and a foul. Either Oliver or Gyamfi. And it's Gabriel Gyamfi. His third, second of the half on the Hawks. And here comes Tyler Jones back on the floor, and he rejoins the lineup as Andino gets a break, and that doesn't happen much either, Dan.
No, it really doesn't. And now Maryland Eastern Shore with about as big a lineup as they can put out there.
Yep. Ellison back for Endear. Johnson's come off the floor as well for Coach Capel. Ellison step through. Davis left it short. Ellison slaps it out, and a new 30 coming up for Pittsburgh.
Ellison hasn't scored today, but he's really active and aggressive. There he's got another one.
Sure does, and kept it alive. Out front Endear. Wilson Frame going to work. And bumped and fouled. That might be on Gyamfi.
Ellison kept that ball alive a couple of different times.
Fourth on Gyamfi. Comes with 13.5 to go.
Of course, Ellison he's new to Pitt, but he is an experienced guy, transferred in from St. John's. Really one of those guys who gets out there and competes. He plays very, very hard. As you mentioned, he has not scored today. The only one of the Panthers who's played who has yet to score.
And that is saved out of the corner by Tony for Davis. Against the zone again. Here's Ellison.
Take the ball inside the zone.
On the drive, Malik Ellison draws the foul. Guy spends most of his time on the deck.
Well, this particular possession, where the Panthers have done such a great job forechecking and holding the ball in the zone, Ellison is the guy who's been mainly responsible. And you're right, Wes, he spent a lot of time on the court, literally on the court, on his backside.
Going to go to the free throw line. Of course, the son of the former Louisville great and longtime pro Purvis Ellison. And Malik's first one is no good. ACC All Access comes up this week. You'll meet Virginia's women's coach, the legendary player and now head coach of the Cavaliers, Tina Thompson, plus Tom Wormy and Mike Bray. Talk about his approach to coaching young guys this year at South Bend, and they're battling Purdue at Bankers Life in Indianapolis this afternoon. Second one from Ellison, no good, and his resume at the line not very good either. And so
he's not a shooter either from the field or from the line. He's a driver.
And almost knocked it away, and last touch by Ellison. It will stay with the Hawks. I thought we were going to get Gabriel Gyamfi over here for a visit.
I was very happy that he stopped.
Yeah, I was too. It was one of those unannounced visits to the table. 7 minutes gone, second half. Pittsburgh lead is 26, been as big as 30 today. And Dino off the screen. And the rebound for Oliver. Rare offensive second chance here for Maryland Eastern Shore. And Jones goes to work along the baseline. 10 for Tyler Jones.
He's had a very solid game, Wes, in terms of being able to put the ball in the basket. He's been fairly efficient, shooting now 40%. Only has one rebound, but with Andino not being able to produce, the Hawks looking for some offense other places.
Tony. Lob for Brown. Double team there, back to Endear. 5 to shoot. City Endear to work. Lefty 3. Got it. How about that? Wow. 8th triple of the year for City Endear.
Actually shoots over 40% from out there. West doesn't shoot a lot of them, but he's certainly capable.
8 minutes gone. The lead, 27 again. It's interesting to watch Pitt move defensively in this man-to-man alignment as they force stuff particularly down low. 4 to shoot. Jones had it blocked by Brown. Gyamfi, with the shot clock winding down, will draw the Terrell Brown fire. The foul on Brown. That'll be his second. 5 on Pittsburgh. Gets us to a timeout. City Endear knocking down a 3 for the Panthers.
The Dickies Flex Series is built for performance with superior comfort and advanced mobility, all backed by the unconditional satisfaction guarantee. Dickies Flex, engineered to move. Learn more at dickies.com.
Critics and audiences are cheering for the absolute best Transformers movie ever. Bumblebee is the perfect blend of action, heart, and humor. And now it's 97% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Wow. Bumblebee, December 21st, rated PG-13.
To you by Hardee's All-Star Meal, starting at $5. Husqvarna, perfect lawn 24/7. Husqvarna, ready when you are. And Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places.
Well, back here at the Peterson Event Center, the Panthers in control against Maryland Eastern Shore. 11:39 to play. And with Dan Bonner, Wes Durham, Mike Moore, our producer, Ken Neal, our director. And quick look at the top 25. Now, Pittsburgh lost today at Old Dominion, but
Syracuse lost.
Or Syracuse, I'm sorry. Syracuse lost to Old Dominion. Plenty of thunder, though, still up there for the ACC with 6 teams.
Wes, it's as you look at the ACC and the performance of conference teams in the non-conference part of the schedule, you just have to be impressed with the depth of the league. Obviously, Duke, very, very good. Virginia has been outstanding, although it will be interesting to see how they play without Kihei Clark, who had surgery on his wrist.
Hey, what Sunday, you and Tom Wormy saw one of the more amazing things in college basketball. Kihei Clark got a 10-second violation against VCU by himself, right?
Well, he played that game with a cast on his left wrist. Oh, my.
Yep, worry about Tony.
Somebody opened a door down on this end and threw the ball against the backboard.
But Clark is out for at least the coming weeks, right, to recover from the...
Well, they haven't released anything on it just to say that he's out indefinitely, but anytime somebody has surgery, that doesn't sound necessarily a good thing.
Right. Brown, the rebound of the Andino miss. Here are the Panthers. Oh, Ellison! Whoa! Wait a second now. Malik was headed up top and draws the foul.
You know, interestingly, Wes, he's going to get to go to the line to shoot a pair right there. But I think if he just goes in and lays it in, that he scores the basket. He's trying to do something spectacular. That would have been very spectacular.
Gabriel Gyamfi has fouled out of the ball game. And for Gyamfi, this is the second time this year he has fouled out.
Wes, he's only played about 12 minutes.
That's exactly right. He is the 5th. Cheeseman has fouled out of 3 games. Gyamfi has fouled out of the other. So,
12 minutes, that's you get your money's worth in terms of fouls if you play 12 minutes and foul out of the game.
They've got him listed at 11 minutes.
11 minutes, okay.
Yeah. My goodness. Ellison at the line to shoot a pair. Missed 2 earlier and missed that one. So still scoreless is the transfer from St. John's from Voorhees, New Jersey.
Well, you just look at him, Wes. He is big and strong. He obviously moves very well. Doesn't have much touch when he's shooting the ball from the outside. But when he can get it close to the basket, he can really do some damage.
Yep. Stevenson waits at the table. Here's Andino. Boy, Davis nicely done there defensively to get in the face of Ryan Andino.
See, Andino, all he wants to do is shoot the ball, and that makes him a little easier to guard out there. You don't have to worry about a drive to the basket.
Tony, and they try and follow, and we're going to get a whistle and a foul. I think that's on Bartley.
And he fouled Ellison again. Again, Ellison is running down the court hustling.
It's on Frost, beg your pardon, 11, not 13. First on Ahmad Frost.
So Ellison is going to go back to the line to try it again.
Well, Jeff Capel confided in us about defense, hustle, detail stuff, right? When you're building a program. Ellison at the line, first point there.
Well,
and he's got to be pleased with what he's seen defensively.
Well, the hustle and the competitiveness, those are building blocks for your foundation. The detail stuff is passing the ball and taking care of the ball and making the proper decisions. So I don't think that he can have any objection at all to his team's effort. In fact, he told us he didn't. He said he didn't think that the game against Niagara that they had the same effort they have had in every other game.
Almost halfway through half number 2. Jones had it knocked away, recovered Stevenson. He had it poked away from behind, and Tyler Jones scores. 12 for Jones. He leads the Hawks. Here's Ellison. The opposite end of the floor, the up and under for his first field goal.
He just puts himself in position, Wes, where he can get an opportunity to score. It's his first field goal of the game, but he continues to play hard. He continues to get himself in position. Pitt defense hasn't slacked off.
Yeah. Bartley, runner, no good. Stevenson, the rebound.
That's been the key to the defense. The Panthers have been able to force tough shots.
Nice pass for Brown's dunk. It'll be a technical foul. Terrell Brown hung on the rim.
Brown again does a nice job running the court, and nice job by Ellison to find him, and he just does the chin up there.
Yeah. So Brown's got 8, or 10 rather. That's his 4th field goal. And Dino will shoot the free throw. That's his 2nd miss of the day.
And then he only gets 1 because that is not an unsporting technical foul. That is what is known as a Class B technical foul.
Brown, by the way, assess the technical. 9 minutes to go. Cheeseman on the drive, right-hand layup.
Cheeseman has shown some flashes, Wes. He's got to stay out of foul trouble. I think his shot selection has to be better, but he's shown some flashes of ability.
Ellison looked for the screen, and a block will be called, and that's on Montrezl Oliver. That'll be his first 6 on the Hawks. Or 7 now, remember, because the technical foul goes as a...
Not a Class B technical foul.
8:42, right, thank you. So Ellison to the line to shoot a 1-and-1. In Deer in, or out as Xavier Johnson comes back. And here's Malik Ellison, who's just 1 for 6 at the strike. And fell off the front rim. Oliver clears.
The good news is that he's getting to the line. The bad news is that he's a very poor free throw shooter.
Yep. Pittsburgh will host the Privateers of New Orleans here on Thursday night as they continue the pre-conference schedule. And Chukwuka ends up with a held ball on the floor that'll go to Pitt on possession. Good hustle play by Jeff Capel's team.
Well, they have, as you mentioned, they host New Orleans, and then they host Colgate, and then do you want to jump into the ACC schedule for the Panthers? The Panthers, they start with Louisville, or excuse me, at home with North Carolina, at home against Louisville, at North Carolina State, and then Florida State.
Well, we're gonna play a little game later in the ball game.
Well, I guess
there are no nights off.
No,
I'll do the next segment. We'll show you some schedules.
You can look at any schedule.
Right.
Not going to look at any schedule and say, well, that's an easy schedule, because there is not such a thing.
Right. And it's up and down. I mean, it doesn't matter where you are in the standings or where you are in terms of your preseason reputation. Ellison is fouled on the drive. We go under 8. We'll look at some of these conference early season schedules, Mr. Bond. On a Saturday where Pittsburgh leads by 27. Back after this.
Coach, that wasn't a very pretty first half. How are you going to get back in the game?
Toilet.
Cool. Thank you for your time.
Bleep, bleep.
Why run when you could fly? Feel the power to defy gravity with DNA Loft in the Brooks Glycerin 16. Brooks, run happy.
Today because they heard there was an Avonworth legend in the building.
Well, actually, Wes, there is no place called Avonworth. That's the name of the high school. There's the communities of Ben Avon and Emsworth and Ohio Township that form that school district. And those guys, good-looking guys, but I guarantee you their parents weren't born when I was going to Avonworth High School.
They had no idea?
No, they have not.
Oh, they're sitting an Avonworth legend right over here, kids. Hey, Toyota's Let's Go places. All right, you were just talking about this. Hey, strap on for Carolina, Louisville, and NC State if you're Jeff Capel, right?
Right. And then the next game after that, it's not there, but it's Florida State at home. So as you start the ACC schedule, they've got 2 ranked teams that they have to play, plus Louisville and NC State.
Oh, goodness. Ellison to shoot a pair. We've told you after the show. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's go around and look at some other ones. Now, I'm not going to show you who these are, but here are first 4 of an also ACC member.
Well, look at that. There's 3 ranked teams, 2 of them on the road.
Yeah.
How about that? You start at Duke, at Syracuse, and then, okay, you get a night off. You play Virginia at home.
Clemson. What did Brad Brownell do to the league?
Happy holidays, Brad Brownell.
Happy 2019. We got a couple more as we move through this second half. Bottom line is, as the jump shots missed by Frost, Dan, you're either on the road or you're playing ranked.
Well, but that's the case with everybody.
All right, one more. Oh, a couple more here. All right, 2 roadies, including at Florida State.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Who do you like in the NC State ballot? Jim Larinaga. Congratulations, you're a winner of that.
You're our guest of the day.
Oh, my, yes. Yeah, like you were. Guest of the day. Here's the pull-up by McGowan's. And Chiwuka follows. Janae's second field goal. All right, here's the last one we got for you. 3 roadies and Virginia at home. Come on. I mean, really? These are BC? My gosh. And here's the thing. We showed you everybody. We showed you teams that have been ranked. We showed you teams that are, kind of middle of the stack. Teams maybe perceived to be toward the bottom. Then everybody's like that.
It is a very deep conference, Wes. It is as deep as maybe it has been since the conference expanded to 15 teams. And you said it before, and I think you're absolutely correct. There will be no nights off.
Foul, by the way, a moment ago on Chiwuka, his 4th. Here's the question I have for you. Is it meaningless to even think about the number of teams that could go to the tournament based on what we've seen the first month and change in the season?
Well, no, Wes, I don't think it is. The conference sent 9 teams last year that tied their all-time record, and I think that, as conference play gets going, and that's one of the reasons why we showed you that NCAA evaluation tool, the teams are going to play other really, really good teams all the time, so the conference teams have done what they need to do in the non-conference part of the schedule.
Chiwuka spins in a 3.
That may be bad news because now I think you should shoot them out there all the time.
Lead its largest to 31.
But what we do anymore, Wes, is that's all we talk about is how many teams from a conference or this conference are going to get in the NCAA tournament. And I think it's going to be a fun discussion throughout conference play.
Kick ball, it'll stay with the Hawks.
I would be surprised if any team makes a run through the conference such as Virginia did last year. I don't think anybody's finishing like 17-1.
Notre Dame a winner, by the way. Nice win for Mike Bray's team. Dan, they're 7-3 now. And you know how good Purdue is. Carson Edwards is one of the best players in the country. There's Cheeseman on the run. He's been the guy today for Maryland Eastern Shore, by the way.
I would not be at all surprised if the winner of the ACC regular season had 4 losses.
Right. Yeah, I'm starting to buy into more of that for sure. Stevenson, a nice drop step and score.
That means everybody who's played for Pitt now has scored.
Under 6 to go. Panthers shooting they're shooting 58% here in the second half. The shooting has improved a little bit for Maryland Eastern Shore as Bartley misses with the jumper and Wilson Frame another rebound. Stevenson has come up hobbling as Johnson
how did he do that?
To the basket.
And
for Xavier Johnson.
I thought he was going to fall down out of bounds, Wes. You talked about his quickness and his explosiveness. That was just some great balance right there.
Yep. Largest advantage of the day. 33 now. And Dino will fall away.
Well, he employed the element of surprise right there. He went back door. But still was forced into a very difficult shot.
McGowan's went for the dunk and missed it. And then did a almost backflip to get himself off the ground. Landed awkwardly. And Chiwuka pull away the miss. And this is not very pretty basketball here the last couple of sequences. 20 to shoot for Xavier Johnson. And touched by Maryland Eastern Shore. it will stay with the Panthers. Here comes Cameron Davis, who's really supplied some solid minutes off the bench for Coach Capel.
This is the type of a game where a guy like Cameron Davis can earn himself some time in the future. Coming into this game, he was only averaging about 9 minutes a game.
Right.
But he's shown that he's got some ability to shoot the ball. He did a very nice job defensively. He's got a couple of rebounds. He's got a blocked shot.
Here's Johnson with 3 to shoot, and Frost going to bail him out with a reach. And that'll be the second foul on Ahmad Frost. 9.
Johnson does a nice job getting past Cheeseman, somehow maintaining his balance.
Xavier Johnson, the line. 82% first trip today, and it's good. He had an ACC tie before he ever played in his first game. His godbrother is the former Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket, Marcus Georges-Hunt. So he probably knew a little bit about the league.
Well, he has now scored in double figures, Wes, in every single game that he's played. That's 11 in a row. So all 11 games of his college career, he scored in double figures.
We didn't know much about him. We knew the reclassification of McGowens and Tony to this recruiting class. Johnson had originally committed to Nebraska, but I think he's going to be a fine player in this league, Dan. I really do.
He certainly has the potential. It's going to be very interesting to see how he responds. We showed you that schedule.
Yep. Jones, boy, nice move for Tyler Jones, who's got 14 now.
He's been the biggest part of the offense for Maryland Eastern Shore.
Yep. Under 4 to go. 33-point lead for the host Panthers. McGowens splitting through, tried to scoop it, and never had a chance, and the Hawks go the other way.
See, and McGowens is going to come out of the game because Jeff Capel doesn't want sloppiness, and that was just a poor play by McGowens. You drive him to trouble and then try to bail yourself out by throwing up a tough shot.
Foul on Tyler Jones. Free throws coming up when we come back to Pittsburgh.
It's Kia's Light Up the Holidays sales event. For a limited time, get amazing deals. Hurry to your local Kia dealer today.
You can make it if you try. You can make it if you try. You can make it if you try. Oh, yeah.
College Hoops is brought to you by the official corporate champions of the ACC. Geico. New York Life, Bojangles Famous Chicken and Biscuits, Food Lion, and Toyota.
Well, one of those crispy, raw, rainy Saturdays that if it were 5 or 7 degrees colder, we'd be in real trouble.
Bite your tongue.
We'd be in real trouble. Instead, we welcome you into the Peterson Event Center, where Pittsburgh's on the way to their 8th win of the year. Cameron Davis at the line. 5 first-half points for the sophomore from Denver.
Wes, and as we speculated, Trey McGowens has left the game and Malik Ellison came in for him. Right. And McGowens, he's done a very nice job defensively, but he's only shooting 1 for 8. He's gotten himself to the free throw line. We've got a free throw lane violation there.
Ted Valentine spotting the violation, I think, on
Tony. Tony stepped in.
Yeah. So we play on with 3:38 to go. Backdoor Cheeseman, the dunk. .32-point lead. Shamil Stevenson. The fall away, missed everything. Tony the rebound. Aldis back strong. And last touch by the Hawks, says Tim Clougherty.
10 seconds left on the shot clock. Jeff Capel making his guys aware of that.
Davis. And the rebound pulled away by Tyler Jones.
Davis has had some open opportunities today.
And Dino rimmed out one. And Deere, front court.
And Deere has shown himself to be pretty good with the basketball. He's basically been the backup point guard, although he has played some with Johnson.
Baseline, here goes Tony. And Jones got a piece of it. Tony back up, draws the foul. Tyler Jones, I think, his third. And a couple of free throws coming for Aldis Tony.
Tony and Ellison are sort of look like the same kind of offensive players in that they drive to the basket before they shoot it. We mentioned Tony can shoot the three, although he's been very inconsistent with it.
First one good. And we mentioned in passing, he and McGowan's reclassified. We're hearing a lot about that in college basketball. Take me through your thoughts on kids that reclassify and essentially enter college early. It was a rarity a decade ago, and now it seems much more common.
I think in this day and age, Wes, when high schools are emphasizing advanced classes, and I just think you can complete the requirements that you need, and I don't really have any problem with it. You know, if you complete the requirements, you can handle college work. And it's not only college work in terms of on the basketball court, it's college work academically, then more power to them.
Yeah.
Smarter than me, that's for sure.
Well, Jeff Capel's cleared the bench as Samson George has come in, sophomore from Nigeria. Anthony Starzinski from Baldwin High School here in the Pittsburgh area. And Joe Mascaro, who went to Bethel Park as well. There was a time, folks, as Cheeseman goes to the line after the foul on George. 1-and-1. There was a time in this league, as the free throw falls off, George will get the rebound, where you had a bucket of players in the ACC who were from Pittsburgh, beyond the legends of people like Mr. Bonner here. Dennis Weisick.
George
Karl, Steve Previs. Billy Packer is Western PA, right?
Well, Gus Gerard.
Gus Gerard. Inside, Samson George scores his second field goal of the year. So in some ways, when the Panthers joined the ACC 6 years ago, Dan, it rekindled a lot of those roots in this part of the world. There's the flip shot from Tyler Jones. Gus Gerard was Western PA, right?
Yeah, he was Uniontown. So was Jim Hobgood.
That's right. Hobbo. Always good to see Hobbo on our trips to Charlottesville. Here's Stevenson on the drive and the score. His fifth field goal. Sixth field goal of the year. Final 122. Don't forget Evan Lepler, Brian Oliver coming up from the KFC Yum Center. Game 3 of our tripleheader has the Ville hosting Kent State. Here's Stevenson all the way to the basket and one. Foul will be on Jones. And another look.
Stevenson is a guy who hasn't gotten much time this year, and in this kind of a situation, again, you try to make the most of it. Steven, this is only the 4th game in which he has played.
Tyler Jones, 16 points. As he fouls out of the ball game.
I think for the Panthers, Wes, you have to say mission accomplished, because this first game coming out of exams can always be a bit of a tester. And of course, the Hawks from Eastern Shores, we've documented a little bit undermanned. .37-point lead. Panthers now with this lineup in the game, showing a little zone of their own.
Yep. George defending Cheeseman, who scores and draws the foul.
Cheeseman's had a big second half.
Yes, he has. That's 11 in the second half, and a chance for one more. A.J. Cheeseman at the line. The former Wake assistant Pat Kelsey and Winthrop will visit Maryland Eastern Shore on Thursday as Cheeseman missed the free throw. That was an and one, guys. That was an and one. That was an and one. Tony Chiazza had it as 2 shots. The basket was good.
Yeah, the basket's good.
The basket was good. So it's 1 shot. And what are we doing here? Ball will belong to Pittsburgh, right?
No, the ball. Maryland Eastern Shore got that rebound, didn't they?
Yeah, it should be their ball, right?
And the only reason that they weren't able to score the basket is the officials blew the whistle.
Right. And Stevenson stole the inbounds pass. Ball on line, man. Here's Deere. Starzinski. And 18 to shoot. Mascaro, if he scores, the building will have to be replaced. And he threw it away in the corner to Audis Toney.
Well, Toney was open over there.
Yeah, he was.
And he was standing up. And I think Mascara mistook him for one of the guys out on the court. And the officials with a little bit of egg on their face.
Yeah, well, that's okay. It's a long season, Dan.
It's a long season, and this is a tough game to maintain your concentration, I'm sure.
Final 25 seconds. Bartley. Out of the corner, here goes Oliver. And Mascaro's got it with 11. And Jeff Capel says, back it up. 78-43 will be the final. Pittsburgh shot 50% in the second half, 47% for the ball game, man.
They shot the ball much better in the second half, Wes. They made some jump shots, but they still did a nice job taking the ball inside by driving it. It was a very impressive performance by Pitt coming out of the exam break. They played hard, and they turned the ball over more than I'm sure Jeff Capel would want them to, but it's a good-looking Pitt team.
Well, we talked about the freshmen that have impacted this roster. Xavier Johnson finishes with 12 and 4 assists. And, of course, Trey McGowens and Audis Toney fill out the card for Jeff Capel's first team.
Johnson put all his skills on display, driving the ball to the basket, shooting threes, did a nice job passing the ball. Audis Toney showed his prowess on the inside with the rebounds. And then McGowens, he made 1 3 today, and this is it. That was in the first half.
Yep. And they combined for 26 points.
Which is way below their season average.
Panthers had a lot of firepower today, though. And, boy, they got a nice effort defensively from several guys here today, and that was an area they were focused on.
Well, they did. They got a really nice effort from Wilson Frame, a guy who's maybe sort of a forgotten kind of guy, but he came off the bench with a double-double, also had a couple of assists.
Yep. So they shoot 47% from the floor, 36% from behind the three-point line, and that's an area that the Panthers have been trying to get taken care of and cleaned up, and they also won the rebounding edge as well in this ball game. So Pitt wins 78-43 is the final. Great to be with Dan Bonner. Stay tuned. Coming up, Evan Lempert, Brian Oliver there at Louisville for the Cards and the Golden Flash of Kent State. Our director Mike Moore, our director Ken Neal, our producer Mike Moore. Wes Durham from the Steel City. So long. You've been watching ACC.